Hello, this is Dr. Lee Hildebrand, an executive coach, clinical psychologist, life coach, and speaker, also the director of Lakeshore Psychology Services. In my video today, I want to help you if you're somebody that's looking to enhance how you approach your fitness and your health goals. This really is going to be something that's going to help you with the art of fitness goal setting. And what I'm going to do today is I want to talk about 10 keys that will help you as you approach trying to set fitness goals and health goals that are going to work for you, that are going to be consistent, that are going to help you to have the kind of life that you would like physically and all the benefits that go with that. So let me start with number one. Number one is answer the why question first. If you can decide the what and why, the how is much easier. There are many people that will approach, whether it's fitness goals or some other aspect of life, without giving due consideration to the umph behind it or the motivation. Why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? So that is a crucial question to understand what motivates you and what are you doing this for? Are you trying to be somebody that wants to have a certain weight, that wants to lose weight? Or maybe you want to gain weight and add muscle. Maybe you want to develop more endurance or a combination of those. Or you want to be able to be more active with your kids. Or you want to look better in a bikini. Whatever that may be, it's crucial to know what that is because that's going to dictate and help you as you're moving forward with structuring your fitness goals. Number two, decide if your goals are a negotiable or a non-negotiable. And what I mean by that is if you decide your fitness goals and what you're trying to do here is a non-negotiable, then it will happen. If instead you view it as a negotiable, in other words, I'd like to work out today, or I think I would like to lose some weight, or I would like to add some muscle, or I want to increase my endurance, but, we'll see how busy the day is in terms of getting to it. If you take that approach, research has shown that you will be much less likely to obtain your goals. This reminds me of a scene from, obviously, a famous movie, The Empire Strikes Back. And Luke is on Dagobah. He crash landed his X-Wing fighter and it's in the muck and the mud. And Yoda is trying to teach him the ways of the Force and encourages him to try to lift the X-Wing fighter out of the muck. And Luke starts to do it and he can't quite do it. And he sighs and he's frustrated and he says, I tried. I just can't do it. And of course, Yoda, in his infinite wisdom, looks at him, and I'm not going to try to imitate Yoda's voice, and says, do or do not. There is no try. And I submit to you in regard to thinking about your fitness goals, it doesn't mean that you're going to do them perfectly. The only part that you can get perfectly is a decision in your mind in terms of whether or not your goals in this are negotiable or non-negotiable. If it's non-negotiable and you decide in your mind that I am going to be intentional in whatever I do in a given day, I'm going to schedule my workout and I'll work the rest of my life around that to one degree or another, then you have a very high chance of being successful. Number three, set both realistic and specific goals. Now, in regard to realistic, if you set too high of a goal that is so far of a reach that it's going to be incredibly hard to accomplish, that is going to be something that could really bring discouragement to you and make it seemingly impossible. Now, the opposite is true. If you just set little baby mini goals, you probably won't get as much satisfaction with accomplishing those goals. So realistic goals are goals that can stretch you They're aspirational goals, aspirational and non-perfectionistic goals that can take you beyond where you're at and help you attain new heights, but that are realistic, meaning if you put some steady progress toward it, you can attain it. I could have the goal of starting for the Milwaukee Bucks, but I think all of us would agree that that is a very unrealistic goal. In contrast, I can have the goal of trying to run a sub 22 5K. And that is a realistic goal because I've done that once before. And if I continue to train hard, maybe I'll be able to do that again. So you want to think about setting aspirational, non-perfectionistic goals. The other part of that is you want to be specific about your goals. Try to be, if you can be specific as possible, then you're going to be able to define and measure your progress. You're going to measure the steps that you're taking toward that goal and be able to determine if you've made progress toward it. If you have a really vague goal, like, I want to be more fit, well, how are you going to measure that? Or a goal like, well, I want to lose some weight. Okay, well, some weight, what's that mean? So try to be as specific and thoughtful about that as possible. Number 4, seek consistent longevity with your fitness goals versus perfection. One of the biggest examples that people run into is they set perfectionistic expectations. They'll get to the new year, they'll say, okay, it's a new year. I'm really going to do it this year. And I'm going to work out 7 days a week for 2 hours. Now, even if they weren't working out hardly at all in the prior year. And I'm going to eat perfectly. And so they get started, and that first week, everything goes great. They've worked out 7 days. They're feeling amazing, even though they're a bit sore. They've eaten really well. And then they go into the next week. And one of those days, a special meeting at work is called. And they skip the workout. And they start to feel discouraged. Oh, I missed it. And then a contingency of negative thinking can start. Well, see, you missed one. You're probably going to miss another. Oh, this is too hard. Forget about it. This is called catastrophizing. It's black and white thinking. Either I'm going to do it perfectly or I'm not going to do it at all. This sets us up for failure. Now, there are some exercise programs, one of which is called the Whole 30. And I won't get into the details of what that is. But the way I like to look at this, if we're looking to have consistent longevity in terms of our goals, then I would call my approach to that the Whole 365. And this is how it goes with the people that I consult with on this. That is this. If we're sitting here and you set some specific and realistic goals that are not perfectionistic, that are aspirational for your eating and your exercise. We're sitting here a year from now and I say, hey, let's look back at this year. You may have had a cold and missed a couple workouts. You may have gone on vacation and maybe they didn't have any equipment there and you didn't work out that week. But on the whole, did you reasonably, consistently follow through with what your pattern was for the last year? If you look at me and you say, you know what, Dr. Lee? Yes, I did. That is success. Success is not perfectionism. Success is not hitting everything perfectly, every workout, every meal. Success is aspirational and realistic progress and consistency over time. You do not want to be the person that works out perfectly for 1 month and then skips 2 months. First of all, it's torture on your body to go back and forth, and it's discouraging. So seek consistent longevity versus perfection. Number 5, you need both exercise and nutrition in most cases to meet your goal. This is important. There are some misconceptions out there One of those can sometimes be, hey, I've got a little too much around the middle, so I'm going to do a lot of ab exercises, and that will help me take it off. It is not the case that targeting certain muscles where there's extra fat weight around it will remove the fat from that specific area. What removes fat is taking in less calories than the energy that you're outputting in terms of your metabolism. And if that happens, if you're exerting more effort than the calories that you're putting in, it will come off consistently, like across the body. And for some people that varies. It can be a little bit more here or there, but you cannot target it through doing a specific exercise. Another misconception are some that decide that cardio is the best. That's the best thing for them, for overall fitness, and also for weight loss. And they're going to just do cardio all the time. They're on the treadmill all the time. They're running all the time. This is a misnomer too. Two reasons. One is that the nutrition plays a really important part of this too. And the other part is that resistance training, yes, traditionally called weightlifting, or even body resistance training, TRX, push-ups, Pilates, other types of classes, will burn in your metabolism in terms of muscle restoration more consistently throughout the day. You'll be burning unnecessary calories more consistently than if you go out and you do a 30-minute or an hour run. It's not the same with your body. You will not be continuing to burn in the same way as if you do some resistance training. So some people have the misconception that, hey, if I'm in the weight room, that's not going to help me take weight off because it's not cardio. That's not true. It's a powerful helper in regard to that. The other thing here is abs are in the kitchen. You can do as much exercise as you want. But if you are not eating a reasonably healthy, consistent diet, you will not have the kind of waist that you'd like to have or have your body look the way that you would like it to have. Food is a huge factor. In fact, in our culture, obviously, we have a lot of fast food and these other situations that work against a lot of our health and fitness goals. The best diet is the Mediterranean diet. Research has shown this, and that this is with fish and non-red meats. It doesn't mean you can't eat red meats. I'm not a nutritionist here. I'm not trying to be one, but grains and fruit and vegetables, and really trying to focus on eating the colors of the rainbow, healthy foods. And another misconception is that if you eat any fat at all, that's terrible for you. Well, fat-free was proved to be a misnomer. You need certain kinds of fats for your brain and your thinking. So a healthy and appropriate, the right types of fats can be important as well. So let's go to number 6. Know yourself. Choose your time of day. And then also decide, do you want to do workouts in a group environment or an individual environment? Now, this might be morning, it could be noon, or it could be evening. For me, I like to do the hardest thing in the day first. I like to get that workout done for a couple of reasons. One is I don't have it on my mind thinking, okay, I got to get over to the gym or I got to get that run in. I have done the hardest part of the day, and quite frankly, with the endorphins that you get from a good workout, the rest of the day feels downhill from here. Case in point, this morning I ran 8 miles with a run friend of mine, and right now it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and as you can tell, I'm still fired up, and I've been working throughout the day, seeing different clients and doing other things, but I've still got gas in the tank. I'm still going. For some of you, you might say, you know what, the morning's just not going to work for me. Noon, maybe taking a break from work and going to the gym really quick, or maybe evening does work better for you. Gauge what's going to work for you. You do want to pick a time that's going to set you up for optimal success. Next part is, do you like exercise or do you kind of hate it? I like to consider this question when you think about individual or group. Are you somebody that's social? If you're really social, it's probably going to be better to do it in a group. If you hate exercise, it can really help to have the accountability of a group of other people that you're exercising and doing it with. So I think group can be ideal. I can exercise by myself individually, no problem. It's just a part of my life for decades, probably 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And it's just like, it's so routine. It'd be harder to miss a workout than it would, to not do a workout. But given that, you want to try to pick times of the day and the forums, whether or not group or individual, that are going to work best for you and your personality. And the camaraderie that you can experience from a group setting, whether it's an exercise class at your health club, or if it's a group or team. In fact, for me, I'm on a running team, so a lot of times we'll do group runs together. We get to hang out and talk at races, and it's tremendous camaraderie. I've met some wonderful friends through that, some very dear friends. It really gives you that 1-2 punch, because you get some more of that camaraderie and connection in your life, as well as consistency with your fitness and your health goals. Number 7, invest in yourself. Use professional resources to help you as you need. It's amazing the things that we will spend money on, whether it be tons of alcohol or vacations or all kinds of things. And then we kind of get nervous about paying a fitness center fee, or a fee for a class, or a few dollars for a first personal trainer, especially at the beginning when if you're somebody that hasn't been in the gym a lot and you're just trying to learn a few of the moves. So please take advantage of classes. You might want to get a personal trainer that, as I said, can help with accountability, that can help you with form and trying to help you tailor your workouts according to your goals. You might also work with a nutrition coach. I recently did a podcast with a nutrition coach. We had a great discussion on these things. You can catch it on my website, lakeshorepsychologyservices.com, and then my podcast is in there. It's called the Lakeshore Psych Podcast, so check that out. Or you can get a health coach or a psychologist or a sports psychologist to help you with your goals. As part of my work with people, I do a lot of that focus, both with athletes. I do sports psychology in terms of motivation, getting over injuries, various other things, as well as just with people that are lay people that really enjoy fitness and are trying to enhance that in their lives. Number 8, set up a pattern, practice it, and the results will follow. This is key. It's more important for you to set up a contingency of behaviors that are going to move you in the direction of your goal than it is to obsess about the results related to your goal. If you set up the right contingency, your results will happen. Now, in some cases, they might not happen as fast as you would like. In a lot of instances, when you start adding new stimuli to the body through exercise and through food, it can very well take your body 30 to 60 days to start responding at a level where you really start seeing, if it's a weight loss situation, where you start seeing some tapering, because there can feel like there's a plateau there for a while. People say it to me all the time, man, Dr. Lee, I've been working out consistently for a month and a half, and I feel a little stronger, but I just don't see anything that noticeably. Keep going. You will see the results start to happen. There is like a plateau period, and then there can be a little bump down where you'll start seeing more results, and then another one. So you need to be patient with that. So set up this pattern and exercise, my favorite 2 words, steady plodding. Steady plodding is so powerful. If you can hold a pattern for 60 days, 120 days, 365 days, 2 years, 5 years, wow. Don't ask yourself what you can accomplish in a day. Don't ask yourself what you can accomplish in a week. What could you accomplish in terms of your health and fitness in a year of aspirational non-perfectionism? In a year of consistent, steady plodding. That is an accomplishment, my friends. So don't get caught up with instantaneous results. Create a life pattern and you will see results. Another thing that I want to throw in is don't get too caught up with a number in regard to weight. If you're practicing these kind of behaviors, your body will move toward kind of a more set weight, and it does vary. Some of us are bigger bone than others. Some of us, tend to keep a little bit more on. Some of us tend to be a bit more slender, kind of genetically and naturally. So work with your body in regard to that. You're not necessarily going to be, a starting tight end for the Packers kind of body for some of you. In fact, definitely not the case for me. As you can tell, I have more of a runner's body here. Some injuries have contributed to some of that, but that's a story for another day. Let's keep going. Number 9, share your goals and your progress with other people. Write your goals down. This is crucial. Research has shown that if you share, when you decide on something in your mind and you share it with other people, you are more likely to accomplish that goal. You're more likely to reach it because psychologically, as you're sharing it, you're buying into it more. As you're sharing it, that other person is going to ask you about it. They start developing an expectation that you're heading in that direction. So don't be afraid of that. That can really help. Also, track your progress. Measure your progress reasonably. Don't go in and weigh yourself every other night. You don't need to do that, but just kind of track your workouts and some of your progress. And if there's a weight component to it, maybe you weigh in, I don't know, once a week, once every couple weeks. But don't get caught up in the number looking day to day. Your weight can change anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 pounds within a few days based on the water circumstances in your body, what you've eaten, etc. Number 10, bring in accountability as you need it. Accountability is key. You might be participating in a class at the gym and you start going consistently, and guess what? That friend that you met in the gym, the day that you don't show up, is going to say, hey, where were you? I missed you. It'd been so great to see you. That's going to encourage and help you. In fact, I mentioned my run team earlier. I've got several runners, one of which is on my run team in the area, and there's 3 of us, and we run a couple times a week, and we call ourselves the trifecta. And man, there's certain days when I run throughout the year, including the winter, when it can be a bit cold, or I might not feel as much impetus as other days. And we schedule a time to get together and run, and I know what's going to happen. I know we're going to have a great talk. We're always encouraging to one another. We're encouraging towards our fitness and health and life goals. And it just becomes like, okay, yep, I know we're all going to be meeting there, so I better get over there. So accountability is key. I've had clients myself that I've worked with where we've talked about a fitness goal, and I've said, okay, it sounds like you've made this decision. What are the action steps that you're going to take? One of the action steps might be, hey, I'm going to sign up for this fitness club or this fitness organization. I've literally had people come to me a week, 2, 3 weeks later and say, you know what, Dr. Lee? Man, I was not feeling it, but there is no way I was going to come back in here when I made that commitment and not have signed up for that organization. And some of those very people continue to be consistent in their progress because they got the ball moving and they started getting the ball of steady progress moving in the directions they wanted. You know, the real conclusion here in regard to this is if you bring the right kind of intentionality and you decide that you're going to work towards steady plodding, that you're not going to be perfectionistic with yourself or tyrannical with yourself, but you're going to be motivated and you're going to make this a non-negotiable in your life, you can do anything you set your mind to if you bring those characteristics to bear. I really hope that you found this helpful today. Please feel free to share this with other people that may be working on their fitness goals as well. Don't hesitate to like the video today if you found value in it, and to subscribe to my channel. I will continue to do videos that seek to add value in regard to health, wellness, mental health, focusing on living life to our best. So wishing you a great day, and thank you so much for tuning in to this video today.